Book 1. Metanoia. Change in one's way of life resulting from penitence or spiritual conversion. The journey of changing one's mind, self, heart, or way of life. Spiritual conversation. The Depression coined the derogatory phrase, wrong side of the tracks, referring to the shanty towns built by migrant workers, homeless and vagabonds. Derogatory in every sense. A statement saying that the down and out, the worker who will travel thousands of miles to pick your pickles, and the nomads of society are of lesser being than you are. It was a sign of the times. The late 50s and early 60s showed us two sides of life. The peace and love of the hippies and environmentalists was the sensible choice. Unfortunately, it was greatly ignored. It was a time of man that was filled with prejudice, misinformed people, and the confusion of a fast-changing world. The second is one of shame. Fueled by hatred and racism. Brought shamefully to the surface of all media by the assassination of Martin Luther King and JFK. I grew up on the wrong side of those tracks. Literally. I am honored to have been raised there. For I am a realist in every sense of the definition. Mind you, the other side of those tracks were only 12 feet away and looked the same as my street. That's My Good Eye, Jimi. Is a series that depicts the lives of 4 lifelong friends. Canadian-Irish lads. Lads who grew up in the south end of St. John, New Brunswick, Canada. Book 1 of the series, Metanoia. As the series progresses, you will see how the 4 main characters did indeed travel their own individual metanoian journeys. Their stories will walk you through decades of their lives as they grow from mates in kindergarten to strong-willed businessmen in the boardrooms and upon the lawns and corridors of Parliament Hill. You are introduced to the 4 main characters. As the series grows, you shall be introduced to more aspects of real life living on the wrong side of the tracks. Here lays a synopsis of the 4 main characters. Dirt Bag Duddy, Shamrock Logistics International Chief Logistics Officer. An outspoken elfish lad with a fantastic sense of humor. A true loyal friend. Devoted to enhancing people's lives in any way he may. Having grown up in the realities of low income and the bigotries of his fellow man. His youth so implanted into his personality that he demanded we put his street name on his door at headquarters. As did all of the lads. Boston Bob, Shamrock Logistics International Chief Legal Officer. A Canadian-Irishman via Worcester, Massachusetts. His parents wealthy Americans. He was lucky to have been born in Canada. He lives a double life. Rich snotty-nosed when at home. One of us when not. He hardly goes home. Madman McIsaac, Shamrock Logistics International Chief Security Officer, our secret weapon. Head of our security and safety. Born with that true Irish fighter gene. I guess you could say that he abhors violence. He will gladly hurt a violent person if that is the only way to deal with a situation. He is the one who would be first to jump in to protect anyone being bullied. The first to dive onto the back of someone who is about to hurt someone. Shaky Dan, Shamrock Logistics International. Founder Chief Executive Officer. This will shock some of you, for I am Shaky Dan, aka Lighthouse Dan Shaky Werner. The author of this series. That is my real name. But, the story is not my real life. Rather, I desired to use my name as a character in a cameo appearance means. In my book 6315, The Original Urban Viking, I used my real name, also. 6315 was my actual inmate number during my years incarcerated in a federal penitentiary. A real-life character in a fictional series. The 4 main characters being myself and 3 of my most memorable and lifelong friends, I decided to use our actual street names from our youth. I am the only one left alive. Madman, Boston, and Dirtbag have long since passed away and now sit in Valhalla together. Resting in the paradise of heaven or Valhalla. Whatever their individual worship or faiths may depict as the utopia of life thereafter. I am presently in the midst of writing, Hiraeth. The second book of the series where the adventures continue. So, come walk with us as we live, love and laugh.